Hello and welcome into We the Peasants podcast with Mr. Dad Bod. Today I want to talk a little bit about everything that's going on in this world. I mean, there is a ton. Let's start with this Judge Bromberg fella that basically is saying that the Trump administration is in contempt of court, criminal contempt of court. Why is the Trump administration in criminal contempt of court? Well, the judge is saying that Trump's administration did not listen to a direct order for them. Get this, they did not turn around planes that were flying illegal immigrants out of the United States. Some of these people were horrific criminals, MS-13 gang members, and they were flying them to El Salvador to drop them off because they are not from this country. They're illegal immigrants who got into the country illegally, and they were being sent back to where they're from. And because Trump did not listen to this Democratic judge and turn the planes around mid-flight and bring them all back, he's being held, his administration's being held in criminal contempt of court for that. Now, we also had, I reported yesterday, a very short video. I said a congressman, it was actually a senator, who went to El Salvador. Flew on taxpayer money to El Salvador to advocate the release of an MS-13 gang member who had been literally charged several times with abuse of his girlfriend, assaulting her, all kinds of different stuff. This dude is, one of the higher up MS-13 gang members. There is proof of it that came out, and one of our senators, a Democrat senator, flew over there on taxpayer money to advocate for him to be released back here to the U.S. Now, there's another Democrat senator that's planning on flying out today to go to El Salvador to advocate the release of this criminal to come back to the United States with taxpayer money. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. And then I got to thinking about it. Well, it kind of does make sense. Under the Biden administration, they flew plane loads of illegal immigrants in. They opened the southern border, and they let them come in every day, all day. 11 million people into this country. Okay? They're giving them food. They're giving them cash assistance. I mean, that was like $200 billion a year that we were spending on illegal immigrants. Your tax dollars were going to that. And I couldn't for the life of me figure it out why. And then it hit me. Why are they advocating so hard to keep illegal immigrants in the country? Because they were giving them social security numbers. Now, some of these illegal immigrants had the same social security number. All of them had the same social security number that they were given, and they were able to vote. They were getting streamlined into American citizenship so that way they could vote. And then it all clicked and made sense to me. Because Democrats would never win an election ever again if they couldn't lie, cheat, and steal. And they need the illegal immigrants because they will vote for them. Of course, I mean, I would probably vote Democrat too if I was getting free health care. Sorry about that. I can't even hang up my phone. If I was getting free health care, if I was getting free food stamps, I was getting free cash assistance in the amount of $13,000 a month, I may even vote Democrat. I mean, heck, if I was unalived, I most likely would vote Democrat anyways. So it makes sense. That's the only thing I can come up with. Let me know your thoughts. I'm sorry that my phone rang in the middle of that. I thought I had my watch on mute, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about that. Is that why they're advocating for all these illegal immigrants? Is that why they want them in our country? Is that why they are flying to other countries to advocate their release? Like I said in yesterday's little video, I don't see Democrats going to other countries to advocate the release of POWs, prisoners of war. No, they don't do that. Or if there was an American stuck somewhere, just stuck in another country, they're not going to come over and get you. They're going to leave you there. They only need these other people and the illegal immigrants on their side because they have no one to vote for them anymore. When the illegal immigrants are gone, they will never win another election. This little shadow government that they have running inside our government currently relies on these illegal immigrants to vote so that way they can install who they want to run the country. We're finding out that they're using trillions of our tax dollars to fund their own personal programs. And then another problem that we have within this whole corrupt system is everybody's heard the story of the white kid and the black kid on the track field, where the kid wouldn't get out of the seat, so the black kid killed the white kid, and he was arrested for it. He stabbed him. Well, the white kid didn't survive, and the black kid went to jail. And his bond was set at $1 million. So they set up a GoFundMe for him, and they raised over $500,000 for this kid. And the judge, being a Democrat judge, lowered his bond to $250,000. Now, they raised $500,000, so they took the money from GoFundMe, paid for his bond to get out, bought a $150,000 Cadillac Escalade, and got a new house in the amount of $900,000. And it just makes you think to yourself, is that how you want to reward criminals within the United States? They unalive another kid and they're rewarded with being made a hero for doing it? The other kid who was unalived, the white child, he has a GoFundMe too, and they have raised about $290,000, $300,000, but it's not being advertised like the other kid. It's everywhere for the other kid, and there's t-shirts being made and cups. It reminds you of another story, George Floyd, where he was a criminal, lifelong criminal, that overdosed on fentanyl, and a cop went to prison for that. His family was given $85 million, and statues were put up everywhere, and he was made out to be a hero. What is wrong with the current world we live in, where you're literally given rewards for committing crimes? You are literally sought after as an illegal MS-13 gang member. You have our Congress and Senate flying to come advocate to bring you back to this country, to give you everything that you ever wanted, just so that way you will vote for them. They can only get illegal immigrants, criminals, and these Antifa and Black Lives Matter people to vote for them. So of course they're going to advocate for them all around the world. There's even a GoFundMe set up for this MS-13 gang member. They've raised almost $400,000 for this guy. He is a criminal. Now, if I was to go on right now, and I urge you all to do this, I'm just saying, I think we should all go on to GoFundMe and create a GoFundMe page that says, I'm an American taxpayer, and I've had my money stolen for the last 100 years or more in the amount of $350 trillion, and I'm trying to recoup losses. And we'll all start a GoFundMe until the government starts to kick in for the American people. They sure steal from us a lot and take a lot of our tax money, but they do not want to help us any way, shape, or form. Then we find out that Congress, Senate, government employees that currently work for the IRS. There's 150,000 government employees who are behind in their taxes to the tune of $1.5 billion that they have not paid back. It's absolutely crazy to think that these people are literally, they steal from us daily, all day, every day, and then want to give it to criminals. They want to give it to illegals. They want to help them, but not you. Literally, this whole platform that they've created of become a child, you're born, you go to school, you go to college, and you work until you're 67. That is when you can retire in the United States, at 67. The average lifespan is like 70, 76 max in the U.S. because, they poison our food too. So they want you to go to school, go to college, get in huge amounts of debt with college, get in huge amounts of debt with cars and houses and credit cards just to survive, break your back to pay the tax money that they want you to pay so they can live lavish lifestyles, work until you're 67 years old. 67. So you can enjoy maybe 4 to 5 years of your life without working for the man. But don't forget, even though you've retired and you are getting Social Security that you paid for, you still have to pay taxes on that. You still have to pay taxes on stuff you buy, and you still have to pay taxes on your land, even if you own your house. You never get away from it. They want you to work until you are unalived, because you cannot transfer that money to your family. They get to keep it. So the system is rigged in their favor and always has been. It is literally the only changes that have been made since the days of kings and queens, where we were the peasants, is the names. It's no longer kings and queens. It's Congress, Senate, and President. You are still the peasant. You are still the peasant that are literally paying and breaking your back for these rich people. When they created that system with the Constitution and the Declaration, and it was literally for your benefit that they created this. They created it so you could have a voice. You could go to school, you could go to college, and you could work to make sure that they have a better life. They created it, if you look it up, you ask any AI, they created it for the lower class and the middle class to support the rich, the people who had inheritance, the people who were already rich, millionaires and billionaires. They created it because they had nobody to do the work for them. So they needed the lower class and middle class to think that they could go out and work and they could have a voice, they could vote, and they could make a difference in life. They could work for what they call the American dream. Well, it's the American nightmare that we're finding out about, that we've been living for hundreds and hundreds of years. The American nightmare. Because they created it so that way they could stay rich and you would stay a peasant and you would never get out of that cycle. Your whole family would always be in that cycle. You would teach them the same thing that you were taught. That's why these investment platforms like Robinhood and all of these different places, when there was the glitch in the system and GameStop had a couple of millionaires that were made overnight, boy, did the government not like that, because those people were able to escape the matrix, the system of going to school, going to college, working until they are unalived. They were able to make millions of dollars, and there's been several people who have been able to break that cycle, and they do not like that. They do not want you to get out of that cycle at all. They want you to stay in that cycle because that keeps them rich and in power. So, yeah, these investments, these things like that, they don't like you being able to do that. They don't like you having a phone because You can record stuff that they don't want you to see. They like these videos that I do. I get shadow banned. I get account ban warnings telling me constantly that they're going to turn off my platforms. All kinds of stuff. Just because I'm coming on here and telling you the truth about what is going on in the world. They don't like that. They don't want the truth to get out there. They want you to be in the dark about everything, because the moment you wake up and you do not follow their plan anymore of go to school, go to college, go to work, the moment that you break that cycle and other people start to break that cycle, they start to lose their money. And that's why they don't like Elon Musk and Doge looking through everything, because they're finding the waste, the fraud, all of the stuff that they've been stealing money from for hundreds of years. They don't like that. That's their money that they call lobbying. They call it committees. They call it Act Blue for donating to different, congressmen and senators and different things. All it is just a fancy name. They come up with all of these crazy names, but it's money laundering is all it attributes to. They're money laundering from your tax dollars that go into their pockets and keep them rich all day, every day, while you break your back. So, let me know your thoughts. Do you think the system that they call the American dream, do you think that this American dream is really the American dream? Or is it the American nightmare? That's my question to you. I know this is not as long a video as I was anticipating. I've got some people who are going to be coming onto the podcast here soon. We're going to be interviewing some people. We're going to be talking about different things. We're going to be getting a lot more involved. We're probably going to put out some 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour podcasts here soon. Just getting into the everyday conversation that the average American wants to have and they want to know the answers to. So stay tuned to We the Peasants Podcast, or follow Mr. Dadbod on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I even have a website, mrdadbod.com. You can stop in there and check it out. And like I said, we're going to try to keep putting everything out there, keep putting the truth out, but I cannot be sure 100% that they're going to allow it without shadow banning me. So everybody's seen Alex Jones and InfoWars, what he goes through. He's been doing it since the 90s. These people are trying to literally unalive him, bankrupt him. They're suing him for billions of dollars because he tells the truth. So, yeah, it's crazy. If you get a chance, check him out. Alex Jones, InfoWars on X. Check out Stephen Gardner on YouTube. Love those guys. They have great stories. Same with Tucker Carlson. You can watch his shows over and over and over. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.